This week I have a very exciting project, which is to create 2 commissions. I am giving myself 1 week, so 5 to 6 days max to create these commissions from start to finish. And I thought it would be interesting to bring you along in the process of creating these artworks. I plan on showing you all the steps that I take in creating these commissions. My goal is to create an equally relaxing and informative video for you today. So I hope you enjoy. I need to tell you right now, before we get too far in this video, that tomorrow I'm getting a haircut. So if you see my hair suddenly change, it's because it's the next day. I'm not sure what it's gonna look like yet, but expect a change. So I'm pretty far along in this sketch already, but I'm going to show you what I do. For this commission, the client gave me a picture that she wanted me to reproduce as an artwork, so it was very easy for me. I did not have to do a lot of thinking. I did not have to come up with an original creation. So I really appreciate these commissions. I just get to do the fun stuff, which is putting the color on paper. This is the image that I'm going to be reproducing. I use Adobe Fresco because at the end, I want to open my image in Photoshop and print the sketch. And I find it easier to use Fresco because Fresco and Photoshop are 2 softwares from Adobe. So I can just save it in the cloud and open it later in Photoshop. So I find that it makes my workflow easier. But you could do this in Procreate, save the sketch as a JPEG or any other format that you want, and then open it in Photoshop as well. So it's not really, it just saves me a step, but it's not that big of a step. Okay, so first I open the image in my software, and then I'm gonna lower the opacity. Then I add a new layer and I do my sketch on this new layer. At the end, I can turn off the original picture's visibility, and then I just end up with this sketch. And what I like to do sometimes is just add a black square or a black rectangle just to know what the limit is going to be on my paper. I made sure that this canvas was the right size. So in this case, I'm doing an 8 by 10 inch illustration. Then what I do is that I open it in Photoshop and I just save it as a PDF and I print it. So that step is already done. I've already printed this sketch, but I have another one that I'm going to be working on. As I said, I have 2 commissions to create this week. I'm going to get a head start on this one. And while I have some waiting periods, like if the paint needs to dry, then I'll work on the other. You saw me cut my paper to the right size, you saw me stretch my paper, and while it was drying, I transferred my drawing onto this sketchbook that I used to do some tests to practice before big paintings. So you can see that sometimes I try to mix colors, I do some swatches, and I've done already once a practice painting. So I'm gonna do the same with this one right here. What I want to see with this sketch is first if I can recreate the colors from the image, which are like teal and orange. And also I used some colored pencils to draw the lines, and I did quite a detailed sketch because I want to see what it will look like with some watercolor on top. And I think I'm going to do the same thing with my second commission if the result is nice enough. So we'll see. Let's do some tests. Today is day 2 of a week of commissions. Yesterday, I did not do everything that I wanted to do, but I still made a lot of progress. I finished this practice painting, and I'm very happy about it. I love the style that I was able to achieve. I've been wanting to paint something like this for a long time, and I have never really been able to achieve this style, and now I did, and I'm really happy. Doing a practice painting, at first I'm always wondering if I'm gonna do one or not, because I could just jump into the real painting, to the official painting right away, because I really like this result. I feel like this could be the commission that I give out to the client. But from experience, I always end up with an even better result after doing a practice painting. So it's always worth it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on the sketch for this painting. And while I'm at the hair salon later today, I'm going to work on the iPad to do the sketch for my second commission, which I hope to start tomorrow. With this practice painting, I've learned some things. I know now that I want to make sure that the important areas like the eyes, the dog's mouth are well transferred onto my paper, because on this one, I did not press hard enough when I was transferring the drawing. So I had to guess a little bit some features. So I want to make sure that the most important features are well transferred. And I would like to make the background a little bit lighter so that the animals pop a bit more. And I want to be able this time to use the white of the paper even better. Sometimes I find myself making a color lighter by adding some titanium buff in the color. But what it does is that it also makes it more opaque. So something else I could try, and what I should do, because it's one of the main properties of watercolors, is that if you mix it more with water, it's going to be less pigmented, so less saturated. So I think this is something I'm going to try. And regarding the white of the paper, I really want to be careful to preserve some white zones. It's so hard not to cover the whole thing, so I'm gonna try not to do that because the paper is already white, so I think I should use that for my highlights. But first of all, let's transfer this sketch onto my good paper. Did you notice anything different today? I got a haircut, like I told you I would, and I decided to go shorter, and I wanted to have a balayage, which will be blonde, but we put a gloss on my hair, so the blonde parts are now kind of a pinkish coral, but it's going to get blonder with every wash, so in maybe a month or two it's gonna be blonde. So I'm very happy. It's a really nice change. I can't stop looking at it. Okay, now let's go back to work. Today is day 3. So what I need to do is to finish the animal painting. This I can do today for sure. Right now it's quite early. It's 9 in the morning. So I think I can finish this painting this morning. And what I really want to do is put the second commission on paper. That's the minimum I want to do. Ideally, I would do more. I would also have played with colors to have a better idea of color combination and color mixing for this second painting. So I hope I can do all of that today, but we'll see. I'm still waiting for my first painting to dry because now I think I've reached the stage of adding colored pencils, so I want it to be completely dried before I do that. So while waiting, I finished a sketch of my second commission in fresco. I saved it as a PDF and I printed the pages with some cut marks because since it's an 11 by 14 inch painting, I don't have this size of paper in my printer. So the image was split in 4 pages. So I made sure to have the cut marks here so I can put all of these papers in my paper cutter, cut the excess, and then tape it together so I will have one big sketch. The thing that I'm going to do with this one is instead of doing a practice painting, a complete practice painting, I'm just going to practice some parts. Since in this picture, only some parts of it are in focus and the rest is not, I want to practice some parts that are not in focus. I think it's going to be a good opportunity to use my watercolors in a different way and to have a more watercolory style. But first I'm going to cut my paper, tape my sketch together so I have one sketch and not 5 separate sheets of paper. This is a celebratory dance because I finished the first painting out of 2. Here it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take my practice sketchbook and I'm going to trace parts of this image onto one sheet of the sketchbook so I can practice with some techniques. I'm not going to trace the whole thing. Obviously, this is too big. I'm going to allow some space on these pages to mix in colors and to do some tests, and some space will be to practice. Here are the breads that I made yesterday. I put them on my paper cutter for them to cool down. I can't wait to taste them. I made them using my rye sourdough, and they're delicious. Also, this is day 3 of my hair. Right now it's still a little bit wet. I still like it very much, and I can't wait to see it. No, I can't wait, but I'm looking forward to seeing it once it gets a bit blonder as well. I think that after this, I might let my hair grow. It was once very long, like here, but I didn't take good care of it. So now I think maybe I could let it grow, but take care of it. And maybe if I keep this balayage with the tips a bit blonder, it could be very nice. We'll see, but for now we will enjoy this short, funky hair. Alright, so today the goal is to finish the second painting. Yesterday I did a lot of progress on my planning, so I had a lot of fun playing with wet on wet techniques. I think this is going to be the key in this painting, the main technique I'm gonna use, which I'm very happy about because I feel like I'm using watercolors to its maximum potential, which is great. I'm gonna show you what I did. I still need to do a little bit of tests. So I started with mixing some colors and writing down what mixes I made. And if I liked the color for a specific part, I wrote it down. So these, I wrote chocolate because this is going to be the chocolate part. I wrote the nuts here because there's a nut filling. So this is going to be the color for it. And this is for the dates because these are dates covered in chocolate and filled with filling. This is a strawberry filling, nut filling. I tried 2 techniques to create the topping. This one, I really drew every little, I don't know what these are. I don't know if they're a mix of nuts and seeds. And so I drew all of them individually. But for these ones, I just drew the contour and a bit of the main shapes, but the rest I didn't. And I used wet on wet technique to create the texture. And I think I like this one a lot better. I'm going to work on it a bit more to see what I can achieve. But I think it looks a lot nicer. And you can see that with the dates, I also used wet on wet techniques. So the chocolate is bleeding a little bit in the date. You can see that I added some red dots in the chocolate. So I feel like it adds a bit more dimension. And I also played with some ways I could create the strawberry filling. And in this picture, since there's a part that is not in focus, I wanted to try working on it. So this is another set of dates, but these are not in focus. So they're a bit less defined. And I played a lot with the wet on wet technique. So you can see that each date is kind of bleeding into one another. And I love it so much. So I'm still going to practice a bit more. I want to work on this teacup and these dates that are not in focus in my image. So once that's done, then I feel like I will be able to create a solid plan. Today is day 5 of our week of commissions. I really want to finish this painting today. I will finish it today. There's not much left to do. The longest, hardest parts are done. Now I just have to paint. So one thing that I need advice on is the tape that I'm using. It really sucks. I've been using... Wait, I'll go get it. I've been using this blue painter's tape, but it doesn't stick to the table. Now, I'm not sure if it's the tape that is not good or if it's sticking it on an unprimed wood table that is not good. But every time I come back the next morning, my painting is not taped to the table anymore. The tape still sticks to the paper, which is good. So if you know why, is it the tape's fault? Is it because of the table, the material? And if it's the tape's fault, which tape should I buy? Because this is a problem. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about, and please tell me all your advice. It's not sticking anymore. So rude. So I always have to press it again the next day. That's why I put 2 layers of tape. I put one that sticks to the painting and another one just to make sure that there's more surface touching the table. All right, so that's enough gold for one day. It was so cold outside. But I found what I was looking for. I got this set of imitation gold leaf. I got the glue that I'm supposed to use with it. And also, since it's imitation, it contains copper, which oxidizes. And when copper oxidizes, it gets green. So I got some seal that I'm going to put on top of it to prevent the gold leaf from oxidizing and changing color. That would suck. I'm happy because it wasn't too expensive, so that's good. Now I'm going to work on some of the details in my painting, and we will see if we're doing the gold leaves today or tomorrow. I want to make some tests first because it's my first time doing it, so I might just test it out on a sheet of paper tonight and then tomorrow morning do the gold leafing. We'll see. Okay, the last step for today will be to try the gold leafing. I have my gold leaves here. I have the glue, and tomorrow I'm gonna test this, the sealant, but I don't need this for today, so let's put it aside. Let's open our pack of gold leaves. Oh, so fragile. I did not expect that at all. Pretty, huh? So what I was thinking is putting maybe a bit of leaves on the side of the teacup right here. But I don't want it to be super perfect, super pretty. So I was thinking about applying some glue in a disorganized way. So let's try using the glue. And I'm going to place a little bit like this. Put the gold leaf on top. And then I think I just need to dust it off. I don't know how long I have to wait though. Does it say? All right, so the sheets came with some instructions, which I did not read, but it says that you put the glue where you want it. You wait for it to dry. It needs to be still sticky, but it needs to be dried. Then you put the sheet on top. Then you wait at least 24 hours before using a brush like this to remove the excess. And if you do it that way, you make sure that the sheet is just gonna last longer in time. Since I already did not do the right thing, maybe I'll try to remove the excess right now. Ooh, I like it. And maybe I should have waited a bit more before removing it, because we see that I'm kind of removing some gold foil where I put the glue, but I like the old look that it gives. Today we will see if the gold foil we placed here will give a nice effect, and then I'll decide if I add some on my painting or not. So let's see. I think the result is very nice, so it could be really cool to add some to the painting. I took the smallest brush that I have to be able to create the tiniest details, and I cut a couple of pieces of gold foil. Okay, it hasn't been 24 hours, it's just a couple of hours later, but I thought I could try to remove the excess of this one, just this part right here, to see what happens if I don't wait 24 hours, because the guy at the store did not tell me to wait that long. My friend who uses these sheets does not wait that long, and there's no problem, so I just want to try it out. It worked so well. I think I'm gonna remove the rest then. Alright, so this concludes this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching me creating these two commissions and that you found seeing the whole process interesting, and maybe that you learned something, or maybe it reassured you in your own process. I know that I always like watching these kinds of videos because I find that every artist uses a different workflow, so it's super interesting to see how others do their own art. I can always learn something from these videos. So I hope that you did. And if not, well, I hope that you at least had fun. I sure did. And I'm very happy with what I created. Let me show you before we go. I have this little painting and that one. These two paintings for two clients. They were so fun. I like that the subjects were different. It was very refreshing to me. I don't do a lot of animals, so that was fun to do, and I kind of want to make more. If you're still here, I guess that means that you enjoyed my video, so please leave a like, leave a comment as well, because it really helps me with the algorithm and it helps push my videos and my channel forward, which is a goal that I have for this year. I would really like to get my channel to be monetized. I need a couple more subscribers for that and quite a lot more views. So if you can help me with that, that would be very appreciated. And if you're not subscribed yet, please do. That helps too. And I would love to have you back. All right, so I'm gonna leave you to your day. Thank you for watching my video once again, and I will see you soon. Bye.